Right, well, we brought you some breaking news in the last hour. Jordan Henderson is back in the England squad after recovering from injury. He replaces Kalvin Phillips, who was injured in Manchester City's win at Wolves on Saturday.
Yeah, so today Henderson and the rest of the England squad will train together for the first time ahead of this week's Nations League games. They're against Italy and Germany.
Those the final games before Gareth Southgate named his World Cup squad. So let's delve into that right now with former right-back for England, Danny Mills. Danny, good morning to you. Great to see you. First of all in all, do you think that Gareth Southgate got this squad right?
I do, Tom. I think it's a squad of necessity. Some players in form, obviously, some players that haven't played an awful lot of football, but sometimes you have to look at the bigger picture. And think about not just now, but what might happen in the next, couple of months leading into Qatar.
Well then, is there still time for Gareth Southgate to experiment, or should this be the time to get your team to as close as the one that you want to use in Qatar, Danny?
I don't think there's too much time to experiment. I think he'll want to give players that maybe haven't played an awful lot of football, the likes of Harry Maguire, give him some game time, give them some minutes to see what their fitness is like. There's a lot of conjecture around, should Harry Maguire be in or not in the squad, at this moment in time. But it's out of necessity. Who else can you play in that position, come 2 months' time? He's more than likely to be needed. He's not let England down before in the past. So I think the majority of the players in this squad will be there or thereabouts. There's always maybe a wild card, somebody that has, the next couple of months is amazing. That could be Sancho, that could be Rashford. They could force their way back into the side. Ivan Toney now has a great opportunity to impress in this next couple of games, not just in the games, but in the training, around the training camp, all those types of things. He has an opportunity, to put his name on the plane, possibly to Qatar as well. But I don't think you'll see too many surprises now leading into the World Cup. If you're on the periphery and haven't made this squad, it's unlikely you're going to get a call up for a debut into a World Cup.
Hi Danny, it's Bella. You've got all three of us this morning, all fighting to talk to you. Now look, Kalvin Phillips out through injury. He's going to require shoulder surgery. That's a bit of a loss, isn't it?
It's devastating shame for him. Obviously was magnificent in the Euros, has been exceptional for England. Obviously suffered that injury for Leeds, really, and never really seemed to come back from that and recover. You're looking at any sort of operation, it has to be minimum 6 weeks. Even though it's a shoulder, obviously there's all the rotation, the movement, the physical contact that you have to take in training sessions. I think it's very unlikely that he's going to be fit for that. If it went absolutely perfectly, you'd have to say the healing process would take 6 weeks. He's then got to get match fit. And he's not like he's got a huge bank of games that he can fall back on. Didn't play for Leeds an awful lot last season. Has hardly played this season, obviously, since his move to Manchester City. So I think, unfortunately for him and for England, it's going to be very, very doubtful.
Let's say, so he's not there at the moment. Jordan Henderson is back in, all right? He's proved his fitness for these 2 games in the Nations League. Let's say this was the squad for the first game of the World Cup. Who would you pick in that midfield to start?
I think I would go with Rice and Bellingham as the 2 in there. We've seen Jordan Henderson, great experience, can easily come off the bench and do a job to see the game out if needed. A lot of it will depend on the formation, whether Gareth is almost forced to go 3 at the back, or whether he's able to play the 4 at the back. But I think, Rice and Bellingham in there give you something, and obviously maybe Foden in there can drop into that midfield as well and play in that position. So there are plenty of options within there, but obviously now there's huge emphasis on Declan Rice, making sure that he stays fit in that position. You've already lost one of your holding midfield players, can't really afford to lose another one.